Welcome to the Tall and Urban podcast by the Council on Tall Buildings and Urban Habitat. This is Daniel Safarik. This is Season 1, Timber Rising, sponsored by the USDA Forest Service. We're talking with leading experts about mass timber, a way of building with engineered wood products that is gaining traction around the world. Today we're talking to Rune Abrahamsen, CEO of Moelven, a Norwegian building products manufacturer. Moelven recently completed Mjostarnet, recognized by CTBUH as the world's tallest all-timber building. Rune, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks.
So we know that there are a couple of major ways to conduct mass timber construction, and it seems like we're coming up with improvements on the old ways, let's say, quite frequently. Maybe you can walk us through the major types of the panelized timber construction today, and talk about some of the strengths and differences between them, and if there are any other mass timber techniques, such as the post and beam construction, that should be discussed when we're talking about tall timber.
Well, as for panelized construction in wood, we have several products that are available. And the most known is probably CLT, cross-laminated timber, which is a kind of plywood where the individual layers are not shaved timber logs, but they are actual boards that are laid in a crosswise manner to make a large plates. So those boards are then glued together. That makes a very stable and efficient element for construction. So that's the most common one. But then there are also other types like nail laminated and dowel laminated timber plates. They're not very much used in Europe, but I believe they are available in the North American market. And then there are LVL plates that can also be that you can also get in large sizes, typically from several meters wide and up to 15, maybe 20 meters long. And all these panels have in common that they make it possible to have a quick assembly, because you can process these panels in a prefabrication where you have robots or CNC machinery that can make holes or mill them or drill and whatever you like, really, to a very high degree and with the extreme precision, so that when you put these big plates or panels together, you get a quick assembly and a nice result. They're obviously very light because it's all timber, and this is beneficial, of course, when it comes to weights, but also a bit challenging for vibrations and acoustics. So you need to know what you're doing and make sure that you have a proper design of these panels so that they behave as you want them to do. We use those panels for the staircases and the elevator cores that are in a vertical manner. We did not use panels in Mjostarnet for the floors whatsoever. We had a different kind of floor system in this project, which can span somewhat longer than these panels can do. So that's where we use the panels. But for the main load bearing, the primary structure of the Mjostarnet project, we used glue laminated beams, glue lam. which is also massive timber, but a significantly different product than CLT and panels are. So they differ in their buildup and how they behave and how you design them.
Can you talk a little bit about how the supply chain was held together or constructed so that you made sure that all the product arrived on site in a timely manner and you had what you needed to complete the project?
We have the resources and the factories and the sawmills in the close vicinity of this project. So, well, actually, the wood that is used for the structures in Mjostarnet comes from just 1 or 2 hours drive from the building site, and it's what's it called? The planks, the boards are produced at sawmills that are local as well. So what we have done at our factory, which is just 15 minutes from the building site, is to produce glue laminated timber that we manufacture and process into prefabricated parts that are very precise and produced in such a way that when we install them on the building site, they can be installed quickly and correctly. So, and that worked very well.
Do you think it's a necessary condition that tall timber needs to be constructed with a certain level of prefabrication and offsite assembly in order to be effective?
Well, generally speaking, tall buildings are built in urban areas, and in urban areas, space is limited. So what you're looking for really is, well, a lot of prefabricated elements that is only at the side of the building for a very short time before it's installed or lifted into the right position, because you need that speed to obtain a proper result in the end, because you don't really have the space. That's what I'm trying to say.
So, this is a pretty landmark project. Maybe you can talk a little bit about the gestation of the project, why it was built, and how you came to be involved, and maybe any surprises or challenges that you encountered during the development and construction.
This project is the idea of a Norwegian entrepreneur and developer called Arthur Buchardt. He comes from this small town Brumunddal, where the building now stands, and he wanted to build the world's tallest timber building. So he invited us to a discussion to whether this is possible and achievable. And as we now know, we answered yes. And he hired us for the delivery of the primary structure, the timber structure of this project, and together with the Norwegian contractor Hent, which was the turnkey contractor he used. And the project is a success, I must admit. We built it more or less on time, as scheduled. It has now been in operation and for more than 1 year. It's behaving like we expected it to do. It's actually a little bit stiffer than our calculations said, but it performs well, and we have had thousands of people visiting from all over the world who want to see this building and see how we have constructed it and designed it.
So I'm wondering if I could see how this is like the perfect project to have been executed in a small town in Norway where the timber industry is very prevalent. Have you attempted to look into to foreign markets based on the success of this project?
Well, we have gotten a lot of requests from projects and from different countries where they want to build tall timber buildings, and generally our look on this is that we want to give advice. We want to share our lessons from our project, but not really to export our products to Singapore or Tokyo or Vancouver or wherever, because we believe in the sustainability of our projects, and in that respect we believe that the materials should be sourced and produced as close to the building site as possible. So that's why we don't really it doesn't really make sense to us to ship all the materials for a large building to Chicago or wherever when it could be produced more local.
Very good. Thank you, Rune Abrahamsen, for being with me today.
It was my pleasure. So thank you for listening.